can startle just about anyone, especially a cat.
Yeah, we're trying to get this video up. We got apparently video of a cat that was a little startled.
Yeah.
We've heard from a lot of people who say that their animals felt it before they felt it.
Isn't that something?
Everything from cats to dogs to birds, things like that, you know, they felt it before everybody else did. Okay, so look at this.
Kitty cat running.
Okay, there's a cat saying, what's going on? What's going on?
Shake.
I'm curious if this happened before the shaking started. We can't
stop.
tell.
What was that? Thanks to Allison Evans for sending this to us this morning.
Cat spooked out by it, no doubt, feeling something. That's actually pretty funny.
Indicative of probably what a lot of people were feeling this morning, even the humans.
Yeah.
Amity and Dreesy also standing by with a handful of this stuff as well.
I'm curious if your pets felt it inside your house, Amity.
Yeah, my cats are already so crazy, I wouldn't know the difference, to be honest. But a lot of people did say that they felt like their animals felt it. I did talk to one woman. I was trying to retweet the photo because it was on Instagram. She said that her parrot, she walked into her kitchen and to get a glass of water right before the earthquake, and her parrot started freaking out, flapping its wings, rolling around the cage, and she thought the parrot was having a heart attack. She grabbed the parrot, and that's when the quake hit. So a lot of people say that could happen. But another important thing to note with your pets today, they may be a little on edge because of this, like you just saw that cat. So be very careful after any sort of quake to pick up your pets. Somebody posted this, and I just had to show it to you because it's cute, because it's a kitty. But we all need a little extra kneading and purse this morning after the quake. People are definitely on edge after what happened earlier this morning. And, you know, we heard a lot about the different aspects of it. A lot of people reported the way it felt. Some people said you could actually hear it. It was audible, the rumbling. And then people said that it was quake. It was nice and good. As this person says, my first reaction was it wasn't shallow, because there was more rattling than shaking, but it sure was noisy. Again, that noise that we mentioned. Felt it in Edmonds, gentle nudge there. And then one person said they felt it in Arlington, and it felt like a truck hit the corner of their house, jerking it off the foundation. We did talk to one woman who actually showed us cracks in her foundation. And those concerns, again, from people around. So I'm going to show you some more tweets if I can. Well, no, I can't right now. But I will say this. People have continued to share their stories, not only on Twitter, but ZipWhip. If you want, please just text us any videos you have in your cell phone right now. All you have to do is text them to 206-448-4545, 206-448-4545. We'd love to see your pictures. Also, we have information to share with you. So just a couple of quick things. If you want to find out how to stock your emergency kit, just text the word KIT, K-I-T, to that same number. Also, if you want a complete quake coverage and know what's happened and what is happening, just text the word PREP. And if you want to become part of our disaster preparedness page, which is always a good idea, living where we live, just text the word Facebook and you can join our Facebook disaster preparedness group. That's a separate group from the King 5 page, but it has got a lot of great information that we've been compiling for years, so definitely check on that. Meantime, we're continuing to see people just telling. Some people felt it, some people didn't. I put a Twitter poll up there and a lot of people saying they didn't feel it at all. I personally didn't feel it this morning when I was up, but, you know, let us know.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
You guys have good foundations or something, I think, up in your neck of the woods.
It is curious, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Amity. We have been hearing from people all over Western Washington who did feel the earthquake. People in Machias and the Three Lakes area definitely felt it. This morning we spoke to Olivia Flatham, who lives just a mile away from Three Lakes, and here's what she had to say.
It was insane. It was both the rocking sensation that people are mentioning towards the end, but definitely a jolt when I first felt it. I mean, I was dead asleep, and I felt the jolt and jumped out of bed. Oh, here it was probably 10 to 15, maybe even 20 seconds. It was a while. I was kind of waiting for it to subside, like, okay, are we done now? I wasn't sure.
Wow.
I didn't want to move too quickly in case, there was an aftershock or anything like that would be stronger. But it was, when I woke up, I was in a panic. I was like, I thought someone was shaking me. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
and by and large where she was, Machias, pretty rural area.
Yeah.
Houses are pretty spread out there, so you can imagine if it was in a more developed area, suburbs even, maybe, downtown Seattle, how many more people would have felt it, but because that was where the biggest rumbling was from what we've been hearing.
Definitely. And when you're asleep and you feel this rumbling and you don't know what's going on, it's really discombobulating as to, for a lot of people.
Like that cat.
Like the cat and a lot of animals that we've been talking about. And so, again, if 206-448-4545, we're looking at the texts from you coming in on what you experienced.
Yep, we're going to be back right after this with more on how you should be preparing. This is a big wake-up call. Back after this. 7:51 is the time.
If it's cutting through the rhetoric to what really matters. If it's holding both sides of the aisle accountable.
Where are we?
And he said get rid of the judge. If it's asking tough questions until they get answered. Then welcome to Sunday. It's Meet the Press.
Thanks to Jody, CoverGirl has created True Blend Matte Made Foundation. It's transfer resistant, so it stays on you and nothing else. New True Blend Matte Made Foundation in 40 shades from CoverGirl.
Our homemade ice cream recipe calls for just a handful of natural ingredients, like extra cream, because at Turkey Hill, simple is best. All natural ice cream from Turkey Hill. Extra simple, extra good.
The 10th Annual Redmond Arts Festival is July 12th through the 14th at Redmond Town Center. Shop over 90 curated designers, artists, and craftspeople offering a variety of handcrafted goods, including jewelry, wearables, photography, paper goods, housewares, pottery, garden decor, and fine art. Plus, enjoy 9 live bands, food concessions, and free parking. Don't miss the 10th Annual Redmond Arts Festival, July 12th through the 14th. Visit RedmondTownCenter.com.
The summer is heating up this July at Quill's Cedar Creek Casino. Join the sizzling summer giveaways each Tuesday and pocket your share of cash, gift cards, and more. The Joker's Wild at the kiosk every Thursday, where you can earn up to $500 cash each week. Earn 750 points each Sunday to collect your 4-piece deluxe auto kit. Find all the details at QCCCasino.com.
Tacoma RV, the Northwest #1 towable dealer, is celebrating Christmas in July. Our gift to you, huge savings on 700 new and used models. Come see Santa and pet a real reindeer. Come see us. Why? Because it's Christmas in July. Thursday through Sunday, Tacoma RV in Fife.
Whether riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers.
King 5 News is brought to you in part by Great Floors. Great design begins with great floors.
Welcome back. Breaking news on King 5 this morning and in Western Washington. Did you feel it? Almost exactly 5 hours ago from this moment, we had a 4.6 earthquake hit, epicenter in the area of Monroe, several aftershocks also. We've also been told to prepare for the big one someday. This has been a theme throughout the morning. This more of a wake-up call today, but are you prepared if the big one does happen? People need to really stop and think, they say.
I guess it was a wake-up call, so to speak, in terms of buying kits so that our families sort of better stocked up.
He's right, and here's what emergency response experts say you should have on hand, tucked away in a safe place in case of a big disaster, specifically a quake. The basics include enough food and water for at least 2 weeks, flashlights and batteries, a first aid kit, toiletries, cash, just in case ATMs are not working. It's also a good idea to know how to shut off your gas and water at your house. I'll also just throw in there a wind-up radio, also an important deal there.
7:54 is the time right now. We are tracking traffic this morning as well. We had a major incident earlier this morning. How are things looking right now?
Well, we're still watching the delays northbound I-5 grow. An overturned concrete truck is still blocking the cleanup from the overturned concrete truck, still blocking the right lanes of northbound I-5 at 405 in Alderwood. We're also seeing partial on-ramp blockage from 405 to northbound I-5. And the delays as volumes build continuing to grow. Major progress has been made, though, in clearing out this wreck. The concrete truck has been towed from the scene after being turned back upright, but we are still seeing delays. Let's take a look at the latest drive times. We're looking at Seattle to Everett, climbing up to 50 minutes now. We're seeing Bellevue to Everett, 29 minutes. Seattle to Everett should be a 28-minute drive, so that's a significant delay for northbound drivers. Hopefully, we'll get the right lanes opened soon. Still watching a few places northwest of Monroe, east of Lake Stevens area, where we've got some dark intersections. We've got a tree down also in the area, possibly coincidentally, of the epicenter that we've been talking about this morning. 171st Avenue both ways between Carlson Road and 28th, and a few more dark intersections, a little cluster. Fewer than we were seeing earlier, far fewer than we were seeing earlier. So progress has been made in restoring power north of Sultan and north of Highway 2. All other drive times are looking just fine right now. The only other delay I'm seeing is a very slight delay, Renton to Bellevue with no blocking issues, taking 33 minutes. I'm keeping an eye on the roads for you. Rich?
Well, weather-wise, we have very little going on today, which is just fine. We have some middle and high clouds kind of filtering the sun, and they'll filter it less as the sun gets a little bit higher up in the sky. But you can see it kind of making its way through, hitting the Tacoma Dome, and looking about the same. Some hazy sunshine there, looking out from downtown Seattle. Checking there in Paulsbo, looking out there towards the Olympics. You see that pall of high clouds that are going to be filtering the sun today. A little bit of patchy fog around. You can see some of it down there in Rochester, south of Olympia, and there Medina Elementary School seeing a little bit of sunshine sneaking through it there at Lake Stevens. Had a nice sunrise this morning. Temperatures warming up already, mostly in the low to mid 60s around western Washington. Checking the satellite image, we do have that big low sitting off the coast. That's going to pretty much stay in place all the way through the week. This little system doesn't have anything but middle and high clouds in it, but we'll start to see a few systems giving us a chance of a shower off and on beginning later tomorrow and really pretty much through at least the first half of next week. So for today, partly to mostly sunny, be kind of filtered sunshine this morning and then sunnier this afternoon, but warm everywhere, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny, might see a late day shower near the northern Kitsap Peninsula. And then Sunday through Wednesday, partly sunny, a slight chance of a shower, a little wetter and cooler for Thursday. We'll be right back.
I actually came as King's first solo video journalist, the first reporter who also shoots their own video. Yeah, I say I'm a one-woman show, but I say that with pride. My greatest passion has been advocating for and living in a way that protects our natural resources. I'm proud to be able to do what I do, and I'm also really grateful to have the opportunity to do it.
This is how driving should feel. The tech-advanced Nissan Leaf, the best-selling electric vehicle of all time. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility.
This is Annie. And this is Annie paying back her friend for the tickets with Zelle before the previews start. And this is Annie getting ready to enjoy the show. This is your right here, right now bank. This is Wells Fargo.
This is you shopping. And this is you maximizing at TJ Maxx. You shopping, you maximizing. You shopping, you maximizing. Get more of the brands you love and the quality you want, and save every time. It's not shopping, it's maximizing. Start maximizing today. Max life at TJ Maxx.
Don't miss the 5th annual RV Blowout Sale, Thursday through Sunday at Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe. Huge discounts, new and used. New trailers starting at $99 a month. 30 nights of free camping and $500 parts voucher with purchase. Thursday through Sunday, Fairgrounds in Monroe. Free parking and admission.
For the best in live music, comedy, entertainment, dining, and gaming, the Emerald Queen Casino is the place to be. 4-time Grammy winner, Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Friday, July 26th. Country Rock Grammy winners, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Saturday, August 3rd. From Chicago, come rock with Styx. Friday, August 23rd. Only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Welcome back. Breaking news, and the largest earthquake we have seen in a long while here in western Washington struck at about 2:51 a.m. Maybe it woke you up. Here's the seismograph at the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network when the quake hit. A lot of people talking about that this morning here at the top of the hour, 8 a.m. We've got crews fanned out across western Washington. Kira Alfallen live in Monroe near the epicenter of this quake and resulting aftershocks, and Britt Moore live at the UW.
Yeah, a lot of people felt it this morning, so we'll hear from them in just a moment. But first, let's get a quick check of traffic right now. Cam's tracking a pretty rough commute.
It is a rough commute for northbound I-5 drivers. They don't usually see a big slowdown, and they are feeling the brunt of a big crash this morning. We are looking at lanes reopening on northbound I-5 at the 405 ramp in Alderwood after a concrete truck turned on its side, spilled part of its load. The concrete truck has been cleared from the scene, and it looks like they're reopening northbound 405 ramp to northbound I-5, but we're still seeing slowdowns and kind of a shuffle. As I move over to the northbound 405 ramp closer to, let's see, okay, here we go. Here's northbound 405 as you make your way closer to I-5. Seeing just a very slight slowdown right now, or a very slight stretch of roadway approaching I-5 that is seeing slowing still, but I'm looking at 3 miles of slowing on northbound I-5 approaching Alderwood. Seattle to Everett taking 50 minutes, should be a 27-minute drive, so that's a significant delay. I'll track the latest, have more in just a moment.
All right, thank you very much, Cam.
King 5's Kira Alfallen now live from Monroe, the northwestern portion of Monroe, talking to people on the ground about what they may or may not have felt. And she is either really still or we just lost Kira's signal. But she has been talking with folks there in Monroe near the epicenter. She's a very lively reporter usually, just not.
I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually she's been talking to people who said they felt it and then some people who didn't, so that's interesting. We've also got Britt Moore, who's live at the UW right now, speaking with seismologists about this earthquake. What have you learned, Britt?
Yeah, we're inside the seismic lab right now. In fact, several staff members here are just working to get up to speed. Even behind me, you can see kind of some of the graphs. I did tweet out some video and pictures of where you can actually see the spiked earthquake this morning, the 4.6 magnitude earthquake. So, of course, throughout the morning, we are working to get some information from the seismologists about where this all happened. I do know the fault line in between the southern Whidbey Island fault zone and Rattlesnake Mount fault zone. That is where it happened. It's an unnamed fault line there. So we'll find out some more information about all of this as soon as we get the public information officer to come in, chat with us about this morning's earthquake. But again, people continue to chime in on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, their reactions throughout the morning to wake up and find that they felt this earthquake or didn't feel this earthquake. So lots of questions this morning. I'm working to get those answers. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, a lot of analysis, a lot going on there. Glenn was just saying Bill Steele, one of the top guys there, headed in, do some more analysis, so we're going to learn a lot more today. Okay. All right, also on the phone this morning, another loyal viewer who's been in touch with us. Cynthia is in Sultan, just up the Sky Valley from Monroe. Cynthia, can you hear us?
Yes, I sure can.
All right, what'd you hear? What'd you feel this morning?
Well, I was already up, and I heard the loudest rumbling, and it was definitely not a train, because I have a train behind my antique shop out here. And then it started to shake, and it was so jerky, and I just grabbed my dog and got under a bench, and my coffee cups tipped over, and the lids, and a few things up here in my apartment tipped over, and I haven't even gone down and looked at my antique shop yet. Oh, yeah, it was very scary.
How
very
long?
Violent.
That's what we've been hearing from a lot of people, Cynthia, is that it sounded really loud and violent. Do you know how long it lasted for you?
Gosh, it felt like it was about 20 seconds, and then I came out from underneath the bench, and I could hear it coming again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the same sound. And sure enough, the aftershock came. So we went under the bench again.
So you could actually feel that aftershock that happened a couple minutes later.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't as long but it was almost as violent.
Wow.
It just felt, yeah, it was a real sharp earthquake.
Just curious, Cynthia, we've talked to you before. We've done a great story with you up there in Sultan. We appreciate you always staying in touch with us. Do you have any pets? Because we've heard a lot from folks who have pets who say they almost had forewarning from their little friends before the quake even hit.
Yes, he was on the bed, and I was up just roaming around, and he jumped off the bed right as that noise came. He may have even been off the bed before the noise, but he knew something was really weird going on, and he was very scared.
Yeah, we're actually showing videos. We're talking to you, Cynthia, of a cat getting freaked out and trying to figure out what's going on. I think a lot of pets are reacting the same way. When you get downstairs and you check out your store, send us some photos if you've got any damaged antiques down in your shop. We'd love to be able to see some of those pictures or videos. So thank you so much for joining us.
I definitely will. Yes, I definitely will.
Glad you're okay.
Send them in.
All right, thank you, Cynthia, friend of the station. They're live in Sultan this morning.
And another video of this one. We've been playing this all morning long, but a baby who obviously started wrestling around after hearing that noise. It wasn't enough to wake up the baby completely, and he didn't start crying, but the video camera inside this room definitely captured that moment.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, Kira Alfallen's got her signal back up this morning, now live from Monroe. We want to go back to her, talking to folks who felt it right there at the epicenter. What are you hearing, Kira?
Yeah, good morning. So a lot of people during the early hours of this morning during the earthquake didn't know exactly what was happening at first. We talked to a man who thought a car might have backed into his house. We talked to a woman who says, another man who says he thought that a burglary was happening, and he actually grabbed his gun. We talked to a police officer who says a call came in, someone called 911 because they also thought someone was breaking into their house. Well, this woman says this was her first ever experience, and she didn't know what to think.
This is my first earthquake, so I wasn't sure what the heck to think. I thought it was, like I said, it was my dad trying to wake me up this morning.
Yeah, a lot of people were pretty shaken up this morning. Some people say, actually, a few people who walked by say they actually just slept through it. So it really depends on who you are, if you slept through it, if you're a light sleeper and you woke up. But a lot of people said they felt things shaking in their houses. They saw stuff moving on the walls. And one gentleman who we spoke to says he actually heard stuff crashing to the floor, and that's how he knew this was going on. A lot of people this morning are really just thinking about, now that this has happened, what they need to do to be prepared for the next one. For now, I'm live here in Monroe. Kira Alfallen, King 5 News.
And not just the next one, the big one. And that is a question that I think a lot of people are wondering, because so many people felt this, Glenn. Does this mean the big one is coming soon?
No.
No.
No. But we don't know that. I mean, there's always an effort. We're kind of seeing some of this in California right now. Does the relief of stress on one fault lead to increased stress on another? There's a lot of truth in that. But connecting all those dots together into a picture is very difficult. But the compression of the coast, because of this onslaught of the ocean floor and the ocean floor and everything being locked together, is causing that. And we're thinking this may be a compression fracture, and talking with the seismology lab earlier before they got on the scene, because they've been looking at this at home. But this is the magnitude 9 playing out. This is not what happened this morning, just to be clear, but this is what we saw in the year 1700. Not a lot of people here, certainly tribal members are here, and they wrote about that, and that is in their heritage, and they talk about that all the time. But this is what we're talking about, a fault that runs from Cape Mendocino, California, up past Portland, past Seattle, past Vancouver, and every place in between north of Vancouver Island. And this is what it would look like in a magnitude 9 scenario if that rupture were to start, say, in mid-Oregon as it does here, and then it would spread up north and south. There's a number of scenarios here, but the bottom line here is this is a fault capable of a magnitude 9 event with a tsunami. So think Japan in 2011. That's what we're going on here. But these are the broader dynamics, and that is helping to exacerbate some of these faulting centers, like we are on the Seattle fault here, the South Whidbey Island fault that may be there. I want to go to the live picture, if we can bring it up, from the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, which has been recording all of these quakes. Now, They're kind of hard to see, so bear with me. Hopefully you got a pretty good TV screen. If you look at that green area up to the upper right of your screen, and you see an orange dot, that was the 4.6 this morning. And you see these other orange dots. If the dot turns orange, it happened over 2 hours ago. And then in the far left portion of your picture is a little tiny magnitude. You can see the trend line there. They're going from southwest to northeast. So that is your line that indicates that a fault is down there. Now it's going to be interesting to see when you can really start looking at the map as to whether this was on the map or not. What we found, we did a piece on this the other day that you can see on king5.com. Those quakes culminating in the 6.4 and the 7.1 down in California, a week ago today, were on a fault. It was a faulted area, so there were faults around there, but faults on that particular spot had not been recorded.
One of the really interesting things we can do these days is have you text us, and we will send you a link to your phone right where you're sitting right now. So if you want, text the word KIT to us, KIT, to 206-448-4545. We'll send you the link to what Glenn's talking about, plus a list on some great tips on how to prepare for the big one.
And we'll continue to check in with you, Glenn, on this earthquake aftermath. Right now we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Ride your bike.
Or grab your sneakers.
Let's obliterate to cure cancer faster.
Obliterate is a weekend of fun, food, and friends with 100% of donations going to life-saving research at Fred Hutch.
Choose from one of 3 scenic bike routes, a 5K walk, or a new run.
So go to obliterate.org and sign up. Join us and connect with others who share the same goal.
Together, let's obliterate cancer.
Sagebrook Senior Living is Bellevue's friendly assisted living, independent living, and memory care community. Explore new interests, socialize with friends, and enjoy senior living your way on our vibrant, beautiful campus overflowing with open green space. Residents enjoy 24/7 healthcare support, a beauty salon, private apartments, restaurant-style dining, transportation services, and maintenance-free living. Stop by for your personal tour or visit sagebrookbellevue.com to learn about move-in specials.
The Morning News Hong Kong is sponsored by Tulalip Resort Casino. Discover more at tulalipcasino.com.
Okay, we've got all lanes back open on northbound I-5 at Alderwood, and also the northbound 405 ramp to I-5 back open as well. We are still seeing some delays. It's going to take a while for this earlier crash, overturning of a concrete truck that gummed things up for so long, for the backup to completely clear out, especially on northbound I-5. So taking a look at our drive times right now, Seattle to Everett, a 47-minute drive. It should be a 28-minute drive. It's going to take a while for that to clear out. Bellevue to Everett, 29 minutes. That's only a 2-minute delay, so we're making progress. Renton to Bellevue is a 33-minute drive right now. No blocking issues, but that is a delay of a few minutes. And SeaTac to Seattle should be a 25-minute drive. It's a 29-minute drive. We've just got some slowing from the north end of Boeing Field to downtown Seattle. Now, of course, we've been looking at all the roads and especially elevated roadways closest to the epicenter that we've been talking about this morning. WashDOT says the roadways, everything looks great. Doesn't look like there is any damage, although they will be looking closely. We also were looking at power outages, seeing fewer of them this morning. Dark intersections, places closest to the epicenter. And I was mentioning, it's not uncommon to see clusters of dark intersections. Like right now, for example, we're seeing some in the Rose Hill area, also the Lake Hills area of Bellevue, and on Bainbridge Island. But it was interesting that the only big clusters of dark intersections and power outages that I was seeing this morning right after the earthquake was right in the area of the epicenter. Could just be a coincidence, but the great news is the roadways immediately surrounding the areas where they felt it the strongest, are looking good, especially the bridges. Rich is keeping an eye on the forecast.
Spider looked undisturbed by the earthquake.
Right.
Well, the web absorbs a lot of that energy. That's the good news. Weather-wise around here, it's a very quiet weather day, and that's good. We have enough other things going on. We do have some clouds. We saw a little bit of fog in Cam's DOT cameras, a little bit of patchy fog around. See some of it out there in the distance, or low clouds, but mostly just the middle and high clouds that are going to be filtering that sunshine during the morning, especially. Should clear out to a little bit more sunshine during the afternoon. Looking out from Alki, you can see the effect of that. Just kind of a little kind of milky white skies just from the high clouds up there. And looking out from Paulsbo, about the same effect at this point. Checking the view out at Westport along the coast. They're starting off with clouds this morning, but they should see some sunshine a little bit later on. And take a look at the view there from Shorecrest High School and Shoreline, seeing the sun pushing its way through enough to give us a few shadows. Temperatures warming up. We're mostly in the low to mid 60s around Puget Sound at this hour. Taking a look at the satellite image, we do have a little system that's just brushing by us. It's rotating out of this big low that's kind of been semi-permanent out there through much of the late spring and early summer. That's going to move through, just giving us the clouds today. We won't see any rainfall out of that. Another system going to rotate up in here. By late tomorrow, it might give us a few showers around the northern Kitsap Peninsula and northeastern Olympic Peninsula, but most everybody else will be seeing sunshine after morning clouds tomorrow. A little bit cooler, though. And then as we head towards Sunday and through most of next week, we're going to continue to be brushed by these systems just passing offshore, giving us just a slight chance of a shower each day, but also giving us a little bit of sunshine as well. So for today, partly to mostly sunny skies, high temperatures today in the mid to upper 70s, near 80 in some of the warmest spots. Tomorrow, partly sunny after morning clouds, that slight chance of a late day shower in the northern Kitsap Peninsula, mid 70s. Then Sunday through Wednesday, partly sunny, a slight chance of a shower each day, and temperatures in the mid 70s. Thursday and probably Friday, look for a better chance of showers and a little cooler, with highs dropping back to the low 70s.
All right, thanks, Rich. Breaking news on that earthquake, and a lot of you probably just waking up like we are, just going through my Facebook feed here. You just lob out a little, did you feel it? And just people from all over Issaquah telling me they felt it. Cashmere, Bothell, Mill Creek, Snohomish, it just goes on and on. Woodinville. So Auburn, actually, someone just said they felt it. That's the furthest south I've seen.
If you're like my sister, who lives in Ballard, she says not only did she feel it, but she put an earthquake preparedness kit in her shopping cart online after the California earthquake.
Oh, just now.
A reminder. And then she went and clicked buy after what happened this morning. So a lot of people are talking about that. And Amity Idrisi's up in the newsroom tracking the texts that have been coming in with viewer videos and firsthand accounts of what they felt. Amity?
Yeah, and you know what, Mimi, it's interesting to note that I actually haven't seen too many tweets or comments about needing to get earthquake prepared. So hopefully people already are. I know for a fact I'm not. I learned something by watching Kong yesterday about how every time you go to the store, just buy more water so you accumulate more water. So a lot of people talking, maybe not so much about preparedness, but about what they felt. I actually put this question on Twitter saying, how did you feel it? What did it feel like? And about 68% people say they didn't feel a thing, but 32% said a whole lot of shaking. Like in Kirtland, this person said didn't hear anything and the dog slept through it, but they did feel it there. One person also reported hearing something, and we've heard a lot about this audible rumbling that was happening during that earthquake, and of course a lot of people have reported that before the earthquake the rumble started. In Marysville, also reporting a rumble then shaking, and in Kenmore just felt it nice and good. They say my first reaction wasn't too shallow, more rattling than shaking, and so there has been a difference of feeling for everyone in this area. So maybe in Edmonds it was a gentle nudge, but other places you felt a jolt or a simple rolling sensation, and that has to do largely with the area that you live, the rock type surrounding your home and your place of business or wherever you're at in the location. Some people said it felt so strong it was like a truck hitting the corner of their house. Now I want to show you what it felt like here. This is from one of our newest reporters, Britt Moore. She recorded this video of the exit sign in our building shaking. Now she felt the quake here in the building, but other colleagues of ours did not. So it really does depend on how sensitive you are and what you were experiencing. This happened to somebody's house. They texted us this picture on ZipWhip. They said this picture frame or clock here, it fell off our mantle during the quake, woke us all up. I can only imagine hearing that glass break. Like you said, a lot of people have thought, a truck hit the house or maybe somebody was breaking in. But that was the situation there. So it's always a good reminder, of course, to keep your shoes by your bed. Make sure that you always have something to protect your feet, because that is the big concern with earthquakes. There's always going to be glass breaking, glass on the ground. And if it's a strong enough quake, things will be flying out of cupboards and windows. You just have to remember that. Back in the 1994 quake, I was 3 blocks away from the epicenter in Northridge, California, and our refrigerator ended up in our dining room. So these things can really toss things around, so you want to make sure you are extra prepared. Oh, and the last thing is, Bolt things down. My husband said this morning he was surprised that our son's dresser was tilted forward sort of to where the earthquake bolts had to be holding the dresser up, so it was kind of an activated situation there. So it's just a good thing to keep in mind. I'm going to send it back to you at the desk now, but we will of course continue to monitor all your comments for the Breaking News Desk. Tweet us, email us, or just text us at 206-448-4545. Back to you.
All right, thanks for keeping an eye on it, Amity. It's always good to see what people have to say out there.
Yeah, Glenn has been showing this book all morning long. It's a great packet of information on how to prepare, what you need to do to prepare in your disaster kit, as well as what you do during an earthquake and after an earthquake. So this is a great booklet. If you go to my Twitter page, Mimi John King 5, I've actually shared a link on this thing that you can just print out, which is great.
So this 4.6 earthquake, a moderate quake by most standards, is just a big wake-up call, a reminder. King 5's Jordan Wilkerson here with more on how to prepare with those kits, right?
Yeah, so if you do want more information on how to be prepared, you can text the word KIT to 206-448-4545. But I do have a few things here that I want to just remind you of. Cash. Cash is a big one. A lot of us don't even carry cash anymore, right? So anytime you're thinking about it, go get a little bit out of the ATM and just stash it for safekeeping. Flashlight and batteries. Don't forget the batteries, or maybe even some candles and lighters for light in case you lose power. Personal hygiene items. You want your ID and important documents. A fire extinguisher. Always good to have, even not in an emergency. Clothing, shoes, as Amity was saying, you know, if this were bigger, glass could have broken, and you want to make sure you have your shoes nearby so you don't step on it. A first aid kit, of course, a can opener for your 2-week supply of food, water, and then your medication. And with water, you want a gallon of water per person per day. And Glenn made a good point. That's not necessarily not everybody drinks a gallon of water a day. We try, right? But a lot of that is for brushing your teeth, cooking with, that kind of a thing. So you got to keep in mind. And again, going to the store, every time you go, just grab maybe 1 gallon as you go. But notice, this is on our traffic or our graphics here for weather, and this is where we were seeing that 4.6 at 2:51, about just under 14 miles deep, guys. That's actually a shallow earthquake.
Yeah, I still can't get my head around the fact there's 400 miles below us.
That we could have an earthquake in, exactly.
Wild. All right, thanks, Jordan. 8:22 is the time.
We'll be right back with more earthquake coverage and a look at weather.